It's Monday morning and we are back in the workshop or the foundry or whatever you call it. And obviously Friday I went to Wales delivering. And when we go from Merseyside to Wales, we've got to go over the Runcorn Bridge or the new bridge. And you've got to pay the toll. And you have, so I went Friday, so I had till Saturday to pay. And unfortunately for me, I forgot. Woke up this morning at 5:30 and remembered I haven't paid it. So I'm going to have to give them a ring and see what we can sort out. If I've got to pay the fine, I'll have to pay the fine. Bit of a difference from a £2, well, it would have cost me £4 because I went over it twice, but it is what it is. But in terms of casting wise, obviously the castings that we cast on the Thursday, sorry, I've moved my piece of wood, we've knocked them out. So the gear wheel that we moulded and we cast, obviously didn't show you what the moulding process, but obviously I was busy. But we've even casted most of the gears in, so there's not much machining wise, and it has actually come out really well. Obviously there's still machining to do. Obviously we've got the groove in there as well. So considering what it did look like and what we've had to work off, obviously pieces of sand got stuck. That's what them little, see the little chunk there and the chunk there. But it's not worth gluing back on because obviously it's got to get machined. Obviously got a nice core in the centre, but obviously that's got to be bored out even more. Obviously had a bit of flash around the outside, so we just smashed it off. It's not gonna, it's only our wheel anyway, so it's not too bad. She's looking pretty good. We've also got all the other castings, so we've got them brackets. Got this little like disc brake sort of type thing. Obviously they've also got the runners and the risers on, obviously they've all got to be cut off. And we've also got the half the cannon that we've done. And look at that looks sick, even on the inside. Obviously you can't really tell much. Obviously you got the little bore, and then you've also got a bit of the logo as well, which has come out. Obviously once it's finished and dressed, I'll show you what it looks like. But all the shot blasting we've done, the railings, the lad couldn't make it, so we didn't pick them up. The wheels, I don't know if I've shown you the wheels, but I'll show you what they look like now. He was meant to come Friday. So he was meant to come Friday and pick all them up. He's not been. And obviously there's the other fireplace, the little one. But obviously from Wales we also picked up a couple of more jobs. We've got some of the patterns here which are going to come on order, but they're not getting ordered till next week. Well no, middle of the week. Because obviously today's the end of the month. So I don't know the quantities as of yet. But once we do, we'll start making them. We've also obviously, with it being the end of the month, I've got to get all them rest of them invoices out. Obviously our payment terms are 30 days, but obviously some people put it in the book and then go end of the month sort of thing, do you know what I mean? So it's one of them. I've also got to do a bit of chasing because I need to get some money in because I've got a lot of bills to pay. And obviously I've got to try and keep our suppliers happy, but at the same time people need to keep me happy. Money's money, and if money comes in, money goes straight back out that door, which is all good in games, but when you need it, it's a pain in the ass. But anyway, that's it. So let's ring the Mersey toll.
Welcome to Merseyflow. The payment for your penalty charge notice, press 2. To top up your account, press 3. If you have travelled in a hire or rental vehicle...
I want to speak to an operator.
Sorry, I did not recognise your selection. To pay for a crossing, press 1. To make a payment for your... You currently have payment outstanding for 4. Crossing within the last 24 hours. To avoid a penalty charge, please make a payment immediately. To make a payment...
Well, it's Tuesday afternoon. And we've actually ran out of sand today. So, we've got the sand ordered, which is coming tomorrow. It ran out yesterday. But it's just one of them. We were just waiting until it ran out this time before ordering it. Obviously with the end of the month's crossover, you sort of don't want to order at the very end, if that makes sense. But loads of blasting in, got more wagon parts, which Steve has been busy blasting. Didn't know which ones they are, so they're probably some of Volvo, DAF, Scania, mixture of a variety of things. as well as these ones. Been dressing these blocks. Got our elephant trunks, and we've got a load of others. I'll just throw a picture of them all because they're all covered up because they're outside in case it rains. But I've been trying to pull a couple of our railings out. A couple of designs that we've got, a couple of originals that we're going to take photos of and maybe try and put them on eBay. Just try and sell some things. The only problem is they take a big commission fee as well, and you're like, it's just one of them. There's not much really you can do, but obviously the price of us making a new one is a lot compared to what someone's selling for, because obviously you've got costs more than an old one that's there, and oh, I'll sell it as an antique because it's got a bit of dirty paint on. Who wants to buy that? You want to buy it so it's your own and then you get it coloured. Some of the things on eBay and etc that are getting sold are ridiculous. Getting sold as cast iron stuff, and it's not even cast iron. Or the quality of it. And the thing that really does me head in patterns. People are selling patterns, and I look at it and go, I'd hate to put a price on that pattern now. And you're selling it for 40 quid. That pattern probably cost about 500 to a grand. It's just madness, but people like that stuff. We are pricing up some of our crusher plates. Lovely job if we get them. But we haven't made them for years, so we'll see what happens. But that's mainly it. Not much really going on. Waiting for sandwiches coming tomorrow morning. So let's skip a day. So it's now Thursday. Yesterday, I wasn't in yesterday morning. I had an appointment. But we had the delivery of the sand first thing. And we also had the lad out to do the forklift because the power steering on the back was leaking oil everywhere. Bit of a mad job because our forklift there, which is electric, you got to take the battery out to get to the job. But in terms of what's going on, now we've got sand, we're moulding. So we are making 5 bars. So you got 3 in a box. Obviously the runner there, and then we connect the backs up. And the reason why is when we take the job out of the mould, say we lift it up off the runner, all of them 3 are wobbly, and then what happens is they'll snap there, which can snap on the job, and then the job's no good. So we put one there so we can lift it that point, and then we can lift that point, and then we have a riser. So we'll lift off the riser, this is the top, and we'll lift off the runner. So we've got a floor full of them so far, but I don't think we've got any more boxes. As well as that, I have been making the fire gratings, not the fire gratings, the gratings. So these are the gratings. This is what the pattern looks like. So all I have to do is put a box on and basically dam it up. But you got to make sure you get it tight in these parts because you don't want it bitty, shall I say? Because that's what it will look like. That is a core print, and that is a core print. So the core print, so this is the core print for the edges. So that'll slot in just like that under there, and obviously it'll create that part. Let's see if we've got a core. I haven't got a core to show you, so let's show you the core in the mould. So I have moulded a couple. Oh, I have got a core to show you. So this is one of the other cores. These don't actually fit, so I have to make them fit. I don't know if it's the wrong core box or what, but the core box that's provided. So this is what the mould's looking like with the cores in. Obviously the runners are already in, but I do open the runners because they are quite small. So I just open them up a little bit, just to help it. But obviously you can see with the core in there, that will create a V-tapered wedge into the job. And then obviously you got the little core which makes the little part. This is what it looks like once it's mould coated. The black bits on that is not burning marks, it is a special liquid that we put on to the mould. Just to have, we've got to cut 8 of them to make. We've got 36 of the fire bars to make. Are we going to try and cast today? If I do 4 gratings and then, because there's eight to make, So if we make 4, well, that's what I'm trying to think. Try and make a shot blasting Mars. Obviously, we have all of them done. Variety of different ones there. We have a box over here of the elephant trunks. And then we've got all these ones. These are quite new. These are a new one that we've not done before. We've got all of them done. We've got just them left. So hopefully Steve will get them finished today. So that is roughly... That would be roughly what comes Monday, started Tuesday, Wednesday. 2 days so far on that job. But for the quantities of the jobs, it's alright. You might say there's not a lot there, but for 2 days worth of work, but there's a lot of items. There's 300 odd of them ones, there's 100 of them ones, there's 80 of them ones. It all adds up, do you know what I mean? But we've also got these mad looking bike things. We've also got these mad looking bike things in for shot blasting. A red one and a gold one, so they're a maxi putsch, whatever that is. But obviously they're all going to be stripped now, blasted, cleaned up, all the paint removed, and then we'll see what happens. There is a code on them. Don't know if I should go show you the code. We've also got big heavy railing in, right? You don't really get railings as... Well, you do get railings that look like this. But this is solid. So it's an absolute beast. This is all solid bar. I think. What is it? I think it is because... Oh no, it's not. Box. So I bet you that's all tube as well. Unless that's all bar. Because it weighs... It's dead heavy. I know it's big, but normally they're not that heavy. It was that heavy. Getting off the wagon, the spike landed on my boot. It landed on my boot and put a hole in it. But there's all of that to do as well, so Steve is nice and busy, which is great. Obviously the cannon's done as well. It's getting picked up on Monday. Them little jobs, the SG block things, some of them are no good. I think that's just happens. We've got to make another 2 boxes. There's 4 that we're not happy with, so we'll have to just make another 2 boxes of them, get them done as well. Obviously we should have SG jobs coming in, which is alright, on the terms of motor casings, which will be great. But that's mainly it. We've got bits to go on with, bits to crack on with. Obviously need to put the prices in for them crusher plates. Will I get it? Probably, don't know. He asked for a price ages ago, rang up, said drop me an email, never got back to me. So basically why he's got on to me is because I told him he needs to come and get his patents, otherwise I'll dispose of them. I ain't keeping patents. It's just frustrating. Like, all down there is full of patents. Got all patents down outside, down the settings, the covers, we've got patents in the lock, at the back, just everywhere. But anyway, let's crack on. Friday afternoon, and I'm about to go home for the day. That's why I'm changed. But what's happened today? We've had a couple of deliveries, but we, in fact, obviously we cashed yesterday, so we knocked jobs out. With Steve was off yesterday morning, but got back in afternoon. So we had the fire bars knocked out. Oops. So that's what they look like. Bit of flash, but that comes off. They'll all be sound. See where we joined them together with the riser that we connected so we could lift. So no splits. The rocking grates that I made. A minute, they're in here. Dark. No lights. So Steve has started dressing them. So this is what they look like. Obviously we had a riser there, and we had runners across the top end, obviously with the little cord that we had here. And we also had the cord that was in this part here that creates that little mould there. They're looking great now. Obviously it's still not finished, this one, but he'll get that done. But as I said, we had deliveries. So the deliveries that we got more shot. So we ordered a ton of shot, and this is what a ton of shot looks like. So let's get in the blaster. Steve has got it covered up at the moment, but you can sort of see what it looks like. So this is the shot that we've bought. That's a ton. Load of bags, obviously we keep it inside. Couple of older ones on the top, and then obviously the newer ones which are a bit more cleaner. Obviously it is extremely dusty, but just in case any water spills on the top, we just keep it covered. So that's what our ton of shot looks like. Obviously it's on a pallet as well off the ground, because obviously if water gets on it, with it being steel, we'll end up with a load of big rocks. And obviously we don't want a big load of rocks, do we? So it's not worth it. We've also had a delivery. So in the fire bars we put 1% chrome in. So that's what's required by the customer. So we ran out, we got them ones, but then we didn't have enough. So I put an order in. So I've ordered 50 kilos worth of chrome. So we've got 50 kilos worth. I needed some more phosphorus for the brake blocks, so I also ordered more phosphorus. We also ordered graphite for, I think it's for the SG. Graphite flakes. So this is what the graphite flakes look like. Probably shouldn't really touch it. We've also ordered some more ferrosilicon, but we've ordered the wrong one. Well, it's still ferrosilicon, and what I mean by, we like the smaller ones. These are big. So they're for like a big massive foundry maybe, with big furnaces. They're like big rocks. Ours are like, I think, they're like our ferro mag. 1 minute. So ours are normally like the size of the ferro mag. And that ferro mag, that's what we also put in the SG. Where they're like big. We want them like that. So there's a load in the bottom part of that tub that's got that size, but then obviously these ones are that size. But the chrome, so the chrome that we've ordered, I've not opened it yet, so let's open it. David's gonna go off his head. What are you opening that for already? Well, we're gonna need it next week anyway, so let's have a little gander. Safety first. Just cut this cable tie off, but it's dead tight. There we go. These are normally like big rocks. That's what the chrome looks like. Rocks of chrome. How cool is that? So that weighs what's that, 0.7 of a kilo? Yeah, I'll tell you in pounds. Doesn't even weigh No, it doesn't even weigh 0.7 a kilo in line. It weighs 3/4 of a pound. So, absolutely hardly anything. There's a little bit of weight to it for the size of it. Yeah, let's pick. We'll say that ferro silicon is roughly the same size as that, yeah. Let's weigh that. So for the size of that weighs 3/4 of a pound, that weighs 1/4 of a pound. Put them two together. And I'm bang on a pound. But that's what the ferro, that's what the chrome looks like. So, I'll show you a bit more of it. So there's the chrome, look, all in a big bag. So I've got 2 bags full. There's little pieces, there's big pieces, as of that one. Looks good, doesn't it? And then obviously the bag I have phosphorus for the brake blocks, which is over there. Let's see if I can zoom you in. Here we go. I need to come down a bit. That bag there, that bag's phosphorus. I ain't going to get that. Let me zoom you out. So, good delivery. Obviously you need that now for the fire bars. I had enough for the last cast, which is already in them ones. But obviously we need more, and we run out, so we need more. So we just got to buy more. It's not too expensive. You pay by the kilo. I'll put it this way. We have copper granules as well that you can put in sometimes. Do you know what? I'll show you what the copper granules look like. But I'm sure there's a fella in there, I think copper's £1,000 a tonne, scrap. So I wouldn't like to know the price of buying more of that. But they're not like that, so that's £7 a kilo. And this is the copper buy. So that's granules. You can see there's a little bit of wire in there, but as well, but copper granules. So they're a couple of things that we can put in the metal to change the metal. Changes the specification to whatever the customer requires. So they all do different things, and they're all for different industries for whatever it's for. Some of it makes it harder wear, and some of it makes it corrosion resistant. Some of it, yeah, it's just a bit of everything. But obviously, when you do SG style, you put ferrosilicon in, and carbon, and then other things. You can put copper in it to make it really hard, etc. But you don't put like loads in, do you know what I mean? Obviously, with the size of our furnace, we don't need to put absolutely tons in, but that's it. Anyway, that's the end of MC Weekly, I don't know, whatever episode. So, home time for me for today, end of the week, good week. Hopefully next week, get a bit more in. Obviously, all the blasting's gone out as well, so we'll see how we go on. Onwards and upwards. These wheels of industry carry on. Don't forget, give us a like, a comment and a subscribe. It's much appreciated. Still don't know why I'm doing this, but we're still doing it. Said I'll do a year, and then we'll evaluate after a year. Probably about halfway in now, aren't we? Starting the new month. But let's go.